Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is TamezTech. Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be checking out Fearow in the lead. Once again, this little flying normal Pokemon. It is quite threatening in this league. Unfortunately, we didn't see a lot of good leads with it. We still are running Diggersby in the back as our tried and true, but the most important, what I would say, glue for this team would be SABLEYE. You can make an argument that Shadow SABLEYE might be a little bit better. I went for regular SABLEYE just because Fearow is so squishy. I kind of wanted a little bit of extra bulk if I wanted to switch, like if I wanted to flip switch advantage, right? So let's check out this team and see what we were able to do with it in this league. So we got Fearow, SABLEYE, and once again Diggersby in the back. Very useful Pokemon to have back there. But yeah, I'm running SABLEYE with Foul Play Power Gem. You'll see in a few games I'm actually running a Return. I kept forgetting to swap out my SABLEYE, and for some reason my game would just keep not saving my team. But yeah, we get into the first match and we see Steelix in the lead. I mean, give me a break, Jesus. We throw the Foul Play right away just to burn the clock. I make a little bit of a misplay here. I should have just full sent the Return. I don't know why I didn't. My opponent, they know there's a Fearow waiting for them in the back, so they have no incentive to shield this move, right? And as soon as I clicked Foul Play, I told my stream, like, why didn't I send the Return? They're never shielding this, right? So now I'm forced to go down all of my energy. I'm never going to get into another Foul Play into that Steelix, and we are in a definitely tough spot. Let's see what my opponent wants to do, though. We're going to bring in Diggersby, of course. My opponent swaps out into a Dusknoir, and I'm like, okay, well, we have a little bit of play here. I don't know why they did that. I don't think they saw me bring in Diggersby fast enough. They actually just instantly swapped. So I will definitely take this. They bring in Dusknoir. We are double normal team, so we can handle this Pokemon. We actually survive a Dynamic Punch, and we get to another Drill Peck. So this is extremely clutch for us. Getting this Drill Peck just to force that final shield, that just means that our win con right now is to call a bait. So let's see, what does my opponent want to do? Oh my god, this is so scary. Bonk, no damage. We call the Shadow Punch bait. It does absolutely nothing, and that basically loses my opponent the game. So yeah, don't not actually bait here and there. So remember that. Okay, good lead in the next match. We got Marowak in the lead, and they bring in a Togekiss. I have no answers to this. I have no answers to this Pokemon. SABLEYE's Shadow Claws would be kind of decent if I had the Shadow SABLEYE, but we don't. So I kind of just have to stay in here. If I knew they were on Aura Sphere Psyshock, I would definitely bring SABLEYE here, but I can't really run that risk, right? I need to kind of like keep switch advantage against that Marowak because there might be something stronger into Fearow on the back. Unfortunately, Togekiss actually survives Drill Peck and the Pegs. So yeah, lo and behold, we kind of did need switch, but we also really need shields. So maybe I should have played this a little bit differently. I can keep farming here. My opponent could have actually gotten the farm down here, but they actually throw energy, so I am completely fine with that. They throw their energy. We can bring in SABLEYE here. We know Diggersby has a decent matchup into Kwak, so we just cap tie on the Foul Play here, and I'm just gonna instantly pivot into my Diggersby. I don't care if they stay or not. I should be able to get this farm down if they stay, but they're very likely to swap out, so let's swap out ourselves, and there is the simultaneous swap out. They bring in Kwak. We have our Diggersby. We can throw the Scorching Sands right away on good timing. Hopefully they don't get hopefully we can get a debuff into them, but we don't. A Fire Punch should be able to knock out here, but man, Kwak has such quick pacing with this Mud Slap work, so I think I'm just gonna full send the Scorching Sands here. I don't want to take any more Mud Slap damage, since this is gonna do more than Peck or Metal Sound for that matter. So we're gonna full send the Scorching right here, knock out this Kwak. They bring in Empoleon, and that doesn't really do much for them. So yeah, my opponent just resigns the match there, and that's a GG's to them. You can see our elo steadily dropping on the bottom right corner there, but we get a decent lead in Corsola. Let's see what my opponent wants to do. I'm a little bit scared of this matchup. I kind of feel like my Fearow probably has more play in the back. And if you've noticed, we're actually triple strong in a Corsola. So I'm going to go ahead and catch a move on SABLEYE. I'm hoping this is a Power Gem, but my opponent they bait us with a Nightshade, which is truly disturbing. They bring in a Torterra, and honestly, this isn't a terrible matchup for SABLEYE. This Torterra is going to be forced to throw energy, which is why I like the non-shadow save here. Because yeah, this Torterra has to throw energy if they want to knock us out before we get to a second foul play, and we can just get a peck down with our Fearow. But I'm thinking maybe the energy on Diggersby might actually just break my opponent, right? Because Diggersby is my other Corsola answer, but if I bring it in here and get a full farm down, what are they going to do? They're just going to top left. So yeah, that's a GG to my opponent there. On to the next battle, we have Scizor in the lead, and holy moly, this Pokemon. I can't believe I made a video on this Pokemon 2 days ago, and now I'm disrespecting it myself. If that's not ironic, I don't know what is. But yeah, we should survive this Night Slash, get this Drill Peck off, but Fearow is basically going to run through both of my shields and 2 Pokemon here. So I have to hope that Diggersby can do some insane work in the backline. So let's see here. I'm trying to gauge maybe if I can get this full farm down here, I can have a play, but unfortunately we cannot get this farm down. So I have to throw energy here, get the shield or the knockout. My opponent wants both shields down, so I'm going to shield myself. I have a lot of energy on the SABLEYE. Hopefully I can put it to use. Let's see what they do. They bring in an Azumarill, and this is looking really dire. Once again, triple weak to Azumarill with this team. Azumarill is just a non-fun Pokemon. I just hope people don't run this garbage, but they inevitably will. Maybe I should start cooking up an Azumarill team myself, but it's just not my playstyle. I don't know. I kind of force them to throw energy here. They actually make a decent catch on Dusknoir. And maybe this gives me a little bit of play. I make a severe misplay here. I stay in and throw a peck instead of just swapping instantly out. And Dusknoir is definitely not a Pokemon you want to be giving free energy to. This thing's pacing is absolutely insane. They're going to get to 2 Ice Punches here. For some reason, my opponent throws on alignment here. I don't know. I mean, I feel like usually when people run Azumarill, they're not like super educated in the video game, so they might throw on alignment more often than not. They might throw like resisted moves more often than not. But yeah, I kind of try to watch for a catch there. My opponent, I think the game just doesn't update for me, so after I throw the quick attack, my opponent like the game shows me that my opponent swapped out. So unfortunately for us, maybe getting to a Fire Punch here could win us the game. We make a crazy catch on Fearow, but I believe this Dusknoir, because of that Hex we gave away at the beginning of this matchup, they actually have back-to-back Shadow Punches. If we didn't do that peck in the beginning and still got the catch, we should have gotten to that Fire Punch and maybe knock out. It still would have been close, but yeah, GG's there. All right, Corviknight lead. I am just not finding any leads this game. I'm gonna bank a bunch of energy here. I should be able to no shield this. This is just an air cutter, but my opponent actually has Sky Attack. So I'm gonna bank the double drill pecks there, bring in my SABLEYE. It looks like my opponent has Sky Attack and Payback. I don't know why they Payback here. Sky Attack is still probably the better move. They bring in Moltres. I should be able to force a shield with this Power Gem here or a knockout, whichever one comes first. And at this point, I was really hoping to get to this foul play just to put them into drill peck range. But I can either, since my opponent didn't cap time me here, which they should have, I can either force the last shield or a knockout onto this Moltres. Let's see what my opponent wants to do here. All right, they actually shield that. So they want this Moltres to put in some work. I think I'm going to shield myself. No, we actually let this go. All right, let's put it all on Diggersby. See what we can do with this Pokemon. We actually lag a turn there, so we get denied a whole quick attack, which is astronomically bad for us. But we should be able to overfarm a little bit here, throw this Fire Punch, have a little bit of residual energy for the back line, and hopefully Diggersby can close out this game. It's actually a Gastrodon in the back. This is looking really dire. Let's see if we can make something work here. 2 Scorching Sands don't knock out though. So a little bit of a misplay by me here is throwing the Scorching Sands right away. I should have kept the over farming, since once again, this isn't really going to knock out. So if I can get more quick attacks due to my opponent having to throw energy, then we would be in a better spot. But yeah, this Corviknight just has a little bit too much HP. We have to get to 2 Fire Punches against it, and we're never going to get there. So GG's to my opponent there. Just kind of RPSing us, unfortunately. All right, Runerigus leading the next match. We have a lot of play into Runerigus. We don't have a lot of play into Wigglytuff. So I'm actually just going to stay in here with my Fearow, put in some work with these Drill Pecks, which do about 50% of their HP. And honestly, these Pecks are chunking too. I know they're going to Icy Wind here and debuff us, but I should be able to overfarm quite a bit here and throw the Drill Peck at the end. I doubt my opponent wants to shield this move since they're so low. So yeah, they no shield that. We are debuffed, but they bring in a Corviknight. I'm gonna bank a Drill Run here. I should have just banked the Peck. I mean a Drill Peck, but we're just gonna bring in SABLEYE here. I don't really care what they throw. I know my backline has a decent matchup against Runerigus, so I want to save my shield for Diggersby for a payback in the later games. My opponent actually boosts here, so I'm just gonna instantly send both of these foul plays to either force a shield or a knockout onto them. I'm sure they want to shield now that they're boosted, right? So let's see what my opponent wants to do here. Yeah, they actually shield, but buddy, Sand Attack is a garbage move. It is an energy generation move. It is not a damage move. So even with all those boosts, they still can't get the farm down onto us. I'm going to bring in Fearow here and force their shield. I know this Drill Peck would be more useful onto the Runerigus, but if they don't want to shield, then that's fine by me. I can still get to a Drill Peck with my Fearow, so I'm going to bank that in the back line and just bring in Diggersby. This is just my guaranteed win con, right? I can get to as many Scorching Sands as I need. If they ever knock me out, I know Fearow is always going to win Cacti against Runerigus, so we're super chill in that regard. All right, Scizor leading the next game. We play this one a little bit differently, right? We know last time didn't work very well, so if I only have to sack one Pokemon, maybe I should just only sack my SABLEYE, right? So we bring in SABLEYE, we shield the Night Slash. Fingers crossed they don't boost, which they don't. We throw the foul play right before they get their second Night Slash, and let's see what my opponent wants to do. They're going to shield this, they're going to Cacti us on the foul play, and I'm just going to let this go. I think if I do a one shield farm down with Fearow, we might be in a decent spot here. Let's see, we're going to take quite a bit of bullet punches, but them throwing the Night Slash here, forcing my shield, does mean that we take one less bullet punch, so we still have a little over half HP left. Let's see what my opponent brings here. Hopefully it's not an insane core breaker. They actually bring in Diggersby. Okay, so this isn't terribly bad for us. I'm gonna throw this with my Fearow, and I'm just gonna swap out with my Diggersby after one, and my opponent swaps out as well, trying to catch a Drill Peck onto us, and they swap in Edadene. Absolutely sad for my opponent. We know Diggersby has an extremely dominant matchup here. We can survive two play roughs extremely easy. We can send the Scorching Sands, and it should almost knock out. One more quick attack, and that's it. And now this Diggersby has absolutely no play. They have to land two Scorching Sands against us to knock us out. Maybe a Scorching and a Fire Punch after the quick attacks. But we still have a Drill Peck in the back, so as long as we just get to a Scorchings to either force a shield or a knockout, we should be in a decent spot here. We get to the Scorching Sands here. Thanks to that overfarm onto the Dedenne. Always make sure if you're in a very dominant matchup, you always want to come out with energy, right? That's the most important part. A lot of people just you swap, I swap. If they swap instantly, you swap instantly. Make sure to build up a little bit of energy if it's favorable enough, right? You want to keep that favored matchup. All right, we see Moltres in the lead on the next match. Thankfully, we do outpace this Pokemon pretty severely. They do get to 2 moves before we get to 3, but we do force shields a little bit earlier here, so I'm gonna shield this first move. They already went down shields first, so if I can land this Drill Peck, then maybe we're in a decent spot. But as you can see, my game just starts completely breaking. My opponent, he's still throwing sucker punches onto me, and I missed, like, I don't know how many moves. I have no idea what the energy on this Moltres is. I wanted to showcase this battle just because the state of the game is so bad. You can see I'm like trying to throw moves with my Fearow there, and my Fearow is kind of like lagging behind, not getting the moves it needs. This game would have been a guaranteed win. This is like the easiest win I could have possibly ever had in my entire life. I do make a little bit of a misswap here. Probably should have brought in Diggersby after chunking with a Drill Peck onto this Diggersby of my opponent. And you can see me keep tabbing in and out, bringing in my like internet and using my data and internet and data, and like my game is just still not picking up. I don't know if my opponent did something about this, but I know that they wouldn't have gotten this Brave Bird against my Diggersby if it wasn't for that lag, right? So lo and behold, what does my opponent have in the back? It's a Galarian Corsola. This game was so ridiculously won for us. And unfortunately, because of the state of the game or some tricky, shenanigans going on in my opponent's game, we just fully lose. I mean, look at this. We are just lagging out and the opponent just throws a power gem. So I don't know. This was definitely a very fishy game. I'm not trying to like throw shade onto my opponent here or anything like that, but there are so many exploits in this game that this one is just suspiciously targeted, right? My opponent is in such a terrible matchup. This Fearow is just gonna put in so much work into them, and somehow my game lags over and over and over after not lagging all day. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but we know that in our hearts we did win this game. So yeah, just remember that. All right, on to the final battle of the day. We got Dusknoir in the lead. We know this lead is pretty positive for us, so we're just gonna do 7 and throw our Drill Peck here. If they no shield, I think I'm just gonna swap into SABLEYE, right? Because I don't want to go down a shield myself. They do, so we just swap, sneak the Shadow Claw, which should knock out, and this is a resisted dynamic punch, so we take the knockout. My opponent is in a tragic spot here. They bring in the Toedscrew. Once again, I thought I was on Power Gem, but we're actually on return here, so the better play would have been to farm up all the way to that return. I don't know why my game kept switching back to the SABLEYE with return and back and back and back. But yeah, they C-bomb here. We have Fearow still, so we can farm this thing all the way down if we have to. I'm waiting my clock because I know they're probably going to swap out. And it's a Basti in the back, so that's a GG to my opponent there. Very fun and creative team, not gonna lie. But yeah, we were able to take that game very confidently. Once again, I don't think this team is necessarily good for elo climbing, so user beware. I think SABLEYE is a really nice glue, so if you want to run a team with maybe like a flyer lead and a ground backline, or if you just have a ground backline, honestly, SABLEYE is such a decent safe swap that maybe that is the glue that your current team needs to succeed. So yeah, other than that, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, leave me any comments. I love reading the comments. If you check out any comments on all my other videos, I'm always liking or responding or just chatting with my viewers and all. So feel free to leave some comments. Once again, we have all of our socials up there. You can follow me on Instagram, X, TikTok. We stream almost every single day on Twitch. We do have a Linktree link down in the description below, so if you want to check out all of my other socials, feel free to do so as well. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.